So as we continue on with mindfulness practices, I would like to overview today the concept of emotion mind, rational mind, and wise mind. Mindfulness practices in general help us to reduce sufferings, they increase happiness, increase control of our mind and emotions, and help us to experience reality as is. It is important to get into the practice of wise mind before the challenging situations arise. So everyday practice really help us to get into that habit of being in the present moment. So let's review what emotion mind, rational mind, and wise mind is, so we can recognize when we are in stuck or when there is an imbalance. So emotion mind describes the state when your thoughts and your behaviors are controlled by emotions. So emotion mind incorporates a hot, mood-dependent and emotion-focused state whereby you're ruled by moods and feelings and urges. When an emotion mind, it is difficult to consider logic. So you can't think much, you cannot control the process, you're fully absorbed by emotions, and these emotions are different for different people. So it could be anger, it could be fear, it could be shame and guilt. So, for example, you might be feeling highly anxious because of a strong urge to use alcohol, and you might be in that emotional mind where it's really difficult to consider the consequences of drinking, or perhaps if your goal is to stop this behavior, which is the rational mind, right, that comes into place, and instead your emotions are so strong that you feel stuck in it. So it feels like you cannot control it. So strong emotions can sometimes be beneficial, but it is when the emotion is ineffective and controls you, and every one of us, that it is becomes problematic. Now we have rational mind, which is also could be at its extreme. And rational mind is it approaches knowledge intellectually, and it is the extreme of reason. So this cool, planned, and task-focused state of mind that is ruled by facts, reasons, logic, and pragmatics. Emotions are not considered at all, so the logical piece of the brain is fully hijacked, and so you could experience that when you're focused on a project, and absolutely not attendant to any of your feelings. You might feel anxious or fatigue, but you're ignoring those emotions at all. That's when you are in your rational mind. So this state of mind can be beneficial in solving logical problems and facilitating meetings, for example, when you don't need to be too emotional, when you just need to think clearly. However, it is difficult to maintain relationships when you operate in your rational mind and ignoring feelings. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to get into our wise mind, which is a synthesis of emotional and rational mind. So it incorporates the wisdom within each person, and it sees the value of both reason and emotions. It is that golden middle, the middle path. So wise mind adds that intuitive knowing to the inner circle. Intuitive knowing is that sense of knowing what is right, and this can sometimes be felt in the body, in your head, or in your heart, or in your stomach. You've probably experienced something like that. It's like your intuition is telling you, you just know something is right, something that is beyond articulation, because you feel it. For example, you may access wise mind when you're deciding how to manage a conflict with a friend. You may feel this sense of calmness and wisdom in your stomach as you think about an assertive script to use. It is important that it is important for you in general to find your wise mind, whereby you let go of the intense emotions. So you recognize that there is an intense emotion, it's so overwhelming and it's absorbing you, and you find a way to let that go and get that sense of wisdom within. Many people have long-standing habits of dismissing and minimizing of their wise mind, but with practice, it gets easier and easier to access it. And there are a set of breathing practices that help to get to that state. So, for example, you can breathe while saying wise. So just on the breath, on the in-breath, okay. Wise, and mind on the out-breath. So that's one of the practices, and this could be done for several minutes until you're able to connect. Also ask wise mind a question. So if there is a question, if you don't know how to, if the answer is not there, if you cannot get into that state where you feel confident that this is the right thing, again, breathing and asking and connecting to that wise mind, to that core, is also a good breathing practice. And attending to your breath, just noticing and expanding your awareness. So it's about finding that middle path, that golden middle, whatever that is, that state inside of you where you're able to turn your rational, logical mind on, and be able to be in the moment, to see it clear, to see the situation clear. So you're no longer influenced by your emotions. You're no longer absorbed in that emotional state, as well as you're not too much in your head, but you're in the present moment where you observe the emotions, you observe those emotional states, but they're not in control of you. You can regulate that. And also when you're not reasoning too much, when you're not thinking too much, when you're not rationalizing too much, but you are balancing and finding those best answers that feel good, that do feel right. So everyone has a wise mind, even if they have not yet experienced it. So also, no one is consistently in the state of wise mind, and so practicing accessing wise mind is a skill that needs attention.